everybody? Welcome back to Riding the Wave podcast with your host,
Aid.
and Jenny House. Y'all better fucking recognize. And we got Mo to Mo back with us.
What up, Mo?
And we got Dona in the house to say what's up, Dona.
That part? Yeah. That part.
And we have a very special guest. We got my boys Wills in the house. Say what's up, Wills.
Wills?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come on this platform and share your story, bro.
Most definitely, man.
But let's start off with how's everybody's current? Ladies first.
My current is great. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy
we
Thanksgiving,
are
y'all.
recording the day after Thanksgiving. We're dedicated.
We working
are
here.
you dedicated?
We working here. We working.
So yeah, my current is great. I'm blessed. You know, what else can I say is I'm blessed to be able to be here with everybody here and just to be able to have this time to what I'm going to say fellowship and just share Wills' testimony. We'll get into how Wills and I kind of connected, but that'll be later. Okay?
Later. Not right now. And my current is honestly, it's great. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope everybody had a phenomenal day. Everybody got the grub on. And I'm super excited to not only hear his testimony, but, the other day I was, at this bar. I was, sitting there drinking my own business. And I met this young woman, and she started talking about, like, her music and her being so self-conscious. And then she actually played her music that she recorded, and it was phenomenal. It was
Nice.
fire. So we're gonna get her on this podcast, and hopefully she could share her music, because I think a lot of you guys hearing her music is gonna be jaw dropping.
She's sleeping on herself.
So, and again, it's don't judge a book by its cover. That's all I gotta
Most
say.
definitely.
But all right, man. And how about you, brother? How's your current?
My current, I'm doing fucking great, man. I'm here. Thank you guys for inviting me, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. I'm great, man. Blessed to be here. How about yourself?
I appreciate you for being here. My current, it's
Yelling, bro?
because I don't want to hear it. Hey, talking to the mic, bro. Talking to the mic. So I'm gonna make sure I talking to the mic.
Put the mic in your
Right?
mouth.
No, you got to make sure and he's going to give a full instructions, and I don't want to hear it. But anyways, I hope everybody's doing great. I'm doing amazing. Definitely excited to hear about Will's story, because it's definitely going to be humbling and eye-opening for me. And literally, I believe at the end of this, I will have no excuses. And the only question I'm going to ask myself, Aid, is, are you dedicated? And I'm going to be. I know that for sure. And I'm already programming myself for it. So I'm excited for this podcast. Also to be coming soon, the singer. That's what I'm going to call it, the singer. Until she shows up, we'll let her know. But right now, it's Will's red carpet, and we're going to turn it over to him. So, Wills, let us know what your name is and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Misael. Everyone calls me Wills, knows me by Wills 909.
Hey, what's your first name?
Misael.
All right. Will's
Misael.
Wills it is, right? Wills it is.
Wills it is.
Wills it is. Just leave it like that. I was born and raised in Fontana, California. Born in Upland. Have 2 siblings, one brother, one sister, older. I am the youngest sibling. Regular Mexican household, grew up pretty much.
All right.
What's regular? What's regular?
I mean, basic regular, Mexican household, 2 Mexican immigrants' parents, that came from Mexico looking for a better life, and had 3 children here, and pretty much gave us a better life.
All right. So what's the relationship like with your family and your siblings and so forth? Do you have a good relationship with everybody?
We have a good relationship, man. We have a good relationship. Well, my brother lives out in Arizona. My sister lives out in Baja. So we're kind of far apart, but
okay,
we still communicate.
All right.
Talk on a daily basis.
All right, well, let's address the elephant in the room. They call you Wills for a reason, bro.
Yes, most definitely.
So let's talk about that. Let's start off with
what you want to know.
let the audience know how did this situation happen?
How did you end up on Wills?
How did you end up on Wills?
I got in a motorcycle accident December 1st, 2007 out in Baja. Which left me paralyzed from the chest down. So I have no feeling from chest down, no movement, completely paralyzed. Full function of my arms, obviously. And yeah, pretty much, man. The quad accident left me paralyzed. It happened out there in Mexico. They took me to El Centro, which was in California, and flew me out to San Diego and did emergency surgery on me.
And because you mentioned, so where were you going? You were 16. Where were you going? Helmet? No helmet?
No helmet.
During the day,
Yeah,
nighttime?
it was 10 a.m. I was gonna go to my cousin's. My mom told me not to go. She's like, take the truck. She's like, don't take your quad because it had rained the day before. So I was like, all right. And she went to my aunt's house. I seen her. She left. As soon as I couldn't see her no more, took out my quad and pushed it.
Typical kid.
I didn't listen.
kid.
Yes. Yeah, most definitely.
Sometimes
I didn't.
mama knows best.
Yes, they do. They do. And as soon as I seen her out of my sight, I pushed my quad, turned it on, and I took off, man. I took off and I went to my cousin's without her knowing, and we were gonna go off road, like about 2 miles away from the little town that we were staying at, and we ended up following. On our way there, I almost fell twice before my accident, and I guess it was a sign already. Didn't take it, and sure enough, I made a stop. I started hauling ass. I hit about 5th gear, 80 miles an hour in a quad.
And helmet or no helmet?
No helmet.
You're a fucking gangster.
And I hit a puddle of water. And when I hit a puddle of water, I accelerated more the gas to get out of that puddle of water, which threw me into a bush. And that bush, there was a rock. So that rock hit my back axle, caught my back axle, threw me about 50, 60 feet in the air. Flew, hit a light pole. My face ended in a puddle of water. And my cousin was following me, thank God. So he seen everything. He pulled over. He turned me around, covered my head because I had slid my head open, and waited for the ambulance to come pick me up.
So where you? I'm sorry.
No, I mean, when he's explaining this, the only thing I could think about is like Final Destination. Bro, not only did you fly off of your bike, you hit a light pole, you broke your back, you're on barbed wire, and now your face is in a puddle and you can't move.
Yes, correct.
That's some Final Destination shit right there. That's wow. Hey,
We laugh. It's a nervous laugh.
No, it's just, I mean, the craziest thing that happens. Oh man,
and then the crazy part is, bro, the fact that your mom told you not to do it, and then you almost fell twice, dog. So you would think at that point, like, all right, I need to fucking just chill.
So on that note, ladies, gentlemen, protect the head, the helmet. You know what I mean? Wear the helmet on both ends of the head. Always be safe. Safety first. Protect the head.
The moral to this story is safety first.
Safety first.
And listen to mama.
Yes.
All right. And so what do you remember? So were you conscious the whole time? Did you feel any pain or like?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Till this day, I don't remember the full effect of me crashing, just because my cousin told me the full story. Like, he was behind me, so he's seen everything, and he was in the ambulance with me. So I don't remember none of that until about a week later after my accident. Once I ended up in the hospital, I was on morphine and everything. So I don't remember none of that till later on. I was like, that I ended up reacting and coming to everything that had happened, and the doctor had told me that I was paralyzed and everything, but it didn't hit me like that, like I just kind of accepted it, like this is what my life is right now.
Yeah.
So you're 16. Are you in school? Are you not in school? What is your life like once you go into the hospital? You're coming out. What is your life like after the hospital?
After the hospital, ended up my parents were actually living in Mexico.
Okay.
So they didn't have a house out here in California. So I ended up moving into my brother's house, which he had, his family, his kids, and his wife. So I was living in a room, staying in a room, which was kind of tight. And I told my parents, like, you guys need to get me out of here. Like, you guys need to figure it out and get me somewhere, like, where I feel comfortable. It was so much, at first and it was so new. And, the house was so small where I felt so, claustrophobic, you know. So I ended up, my parents ended up buying a mobile home, and I ended up moving into a mobile home with my parents, and ended up moving back, and you know, going to physical therapy and stuff.
So moving back, meaning you moved back to Baja?
No, moved back to California, to Fontana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then fast forward to like now you're in your 20s. What is your like 20s? Because it's like I can imagine 21, everybody's like out partying, all this stuff that happened at 16. So what do your 20s look like? 20, 21?
Well, by that time I was already married.
Okay.
So we kind of skipped that part.
Okay.
So yeah, I ended up getting in an accident. I moved in with my parents, and I had a girlfriend at that time, so I ended up moving here with my parents at 17 years old.
Okay.
So I was with her, got married at 18 years old, and we moved to Las Vegas. So at that time, 2021, I was living out in Las Vegas.
So you moved to Las Vegas, just you and your wife?
Just me and my wife.
Okay.
Yes.
And how did your wife handle like everything and having to like, obviously, I'm not sure if it's like taking care of you or helping take care of you or what that's like, but like how did her life change?
Well, thank God I've been kind of fully independent.
Okay.
I kind of do my own thing. I take care of my own stuff. But I mean, it affected her a lot. I mean, I'm sure, you know, it's a big change for myself. So I'm sure it was a big change for her, because I was dating her before my accident, prior for that. So, I mean, she knew me before that. So I'm sure it was a change, and it was something she had to adapt with. And I told her what it came with, you know.
Yeah, if you have questions.
No, go for it. I thought you had one.
I just kind of want to just share.
flow.
Share the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be, pulling the mic from you.
No.
I hope it's a cool understanding. I mean, you did roll up on me first, but you know what I mean. I just want to make sure there's a cool understanding if I get the mic. No, but when you did come to, like, did all that pain or anything that you were going through come in, and like, did you actually feel the pain, or was the morphine, they gave you enough morphine to where you didn't feel anything at all and you were comfortable?
No, I felt the pain. I felt the pain for sure. It was enough to, I guess, keep me going by, just getting by. But I'm a good tolerate. I tolerate pain pretty well. Even till now, I don't take no pain pills. I just don't like it. I personally don't feel like it's something to get, take or get addicted to, you know what I mean? So I handle pain pretty well.
And like the pain, what do you feel like? You feel it in your spine? Where do you
I
feel
feel it a lot in my spine. I feel like kind of like, say, like a knife stabbing you. And then I get a lot of nerve pain on my legs. So I get a lot of spasms too, like those shake and stuff like that. And that's just out of my control.
Okay. All right. I got to ask you two questions. Number one, what was...
Yes, I can still have sex.
Honestly, that was going to be one of my
I just
questions.
say, yes, I can still have sex.
Yeah, okay, number one, what?
That's why she's still here.
I mean, I don't think she would stick around if I didn't,
I was like, damn, how's that lengua, homie?
That's phenomenal too, though, by the way.
But yeah, first of all, you guys are all fucking disgusting.
I mean, I just want to put it out there because everybody asks that question, man.
Well, I'm gonna
that's
ask it.
that's the first thing people ask, and they get curious about it. And I'm like, just ask me, you know what I mean?
No. My first question was, what when you woke up and you couldn't feel your legs, like when you woke up in the hospital, or when did you realize, oh fuck, like
I asked her the same question. As soon as I woke up, I was like, can I still have sex?
That's all you care about.
I was 16 years old, bro.
yeah, and what did she say?
And she's like, that's a different nerve. She's like, yes, you can. She's like, but don't worry about that now. I'm not like that. I'm worried about that. I'm really concerned about that.
Wake up!
One of the legs are working.
Yes, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
That head was fully protected.
Right, there you go, for reals.
I guess no, because I'm really curious, bro. Because I think that would freak me out when I would wake up and I can't fucking feel my legs. That shit would freak. I think in that moment I'd freak out.
No, yeah, most definitely. It was something new. But like I said, I kind of took it at first, like this is what it is, and this is what my life is, and fuck it, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna keep rolling, you know what I mean? Literally.
I got you. Go ahead. You got a question?
So then number 2, you're good. PP works. It's good to go.
Ready to go.
All right.
Maybe a
So
little.
everybody who's
a little
curious,
Viagra,
Okay,
but
okay.
but we good to go still, though, you know?
So everybody who's curious, if people with paralyzed, their PP still work? Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So how does that work? Like, is it because it's blood flow or something like that, or what does that happen?
Yeah, it's because it's blood flow, you know, pretty much. I mean,
Okay.
so yeah, just take a little Viagra.
you want
15 minutes later, and there is a shot that it's called Edix, and that's like right on the spot, but you have to inject your little pee-pee.
Okay.
Bam, to the side,
She's
and
like,
then
I like that.
What? Yeah, like porn style stuff. You know what I mean? 7-8 hour stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now does that affect sort of like reproduction? Like the fact that you being paralyzed, anything like that, does that affect your reproduction system at all?
No,
No.
not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my question. That's all the questions I have for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, turn into next notch. Right? I'm good. It works. It works.
Okay, so for me, like, I guess we'll backtrack how you and I kind of, why we're sitting here today. So why we're sitting here today is because there was a story out here in the Inland Empire where a young high school kid, I believe 16, was in a Uber car, and the police were chasing a vehicle, and this vehicle struck this Uber car. So this young kid was in the front seat of the car, and this kid was taken to the hospital. Apparently they told this young gentleman that he was paralyzed, he wouldn't be able to walk again. Mind you, the more and more that we find out about him is that he was a great like basketball player. Wills, you know, as I'm like reading through the comments, I see that Wills reached out and said, I would love to talk to this kid. And all I simply said was, share your testimony. That's all I said. And then knowing that my brother has this podcast, I was like, you know what? I feel like this would be a great opportunity to extend, you know, my hand out to him and start following him. And then I started to see more and more of what Wills was doing. And that's when I saw that there's a clip of Wills. It's kind of like a little movie clip. It's a short movie clip, but it's different individuals who are paralyzed. But that doesn't stop them. They still continue to go after whatever it is that they want to do. And I was kind of hesitant because I'm like, oh, like he's a guy, like I don't know. And I was just like, you know what? This is all in God's hands. I said, screw it. I'm going to reach out. I reached out to him and I said, hey, would you mind sharing your story on a podcast? Right away, he said yes. And this is why we're here today.
And his wife was like, who's this puta messaging you on Instagram?
Right, exactly. Oh, now you're messaging them. Go ahead, open up that can of worms.
She has a fetish for them.
That's why. It's a thing. You never know. They don't gotta walk anywhere. No. But for you, Wills, why is it so important for you to reach out, you know, to people that are in the same situation as you?
I feel because when I was in rehab, ex Rialto PD officer came in and he talked to me, and he pretty much told me like, "Hey man," because I honestly thought my life was over. I had just gotten my license, and I was like, "What do I need this license for? Can't even drive, you know?" And this guy, he rolled in my room and he was like, "Hey man, you mind if you have some, a couple minutes? I want to talk to you." And I was like, "Sure, man." And he started telling me his story, that he got injured on the job, and that he drove, and he's like, "Man, I'm completely independent," and started telling me everything, that he went to the gym and everything. I was like, "Oh wow, like I could actually be independent." So he told me, he's like, come outside with me. And I rolled outside with him. He showed me his car. He showed
He
me.
put you in the cop car.
He showed me how he cuffed me. He showed me how how his car was built with hand controls and everything. So I was like, oh wow, it was interesting. So I was like, hold on, my life ain't over. So sure enough, that's what kind of pushed me, and I was like, I wanna make a difference and speak to other people that life ain't over, man. Like,
So somebody gave you hope, which allows you to turn around and want to give people
correct.
hope. Yeah.
And what was this? I mean, if you could, what was the officer's name? You don't have to give his full name. And
I'm gonna be honest with you. His name was Dennis Davis or something like that.
Okay. And then what was his disability?
He was paralyzed. He got paralyzed. He got in an accident, in a vehicle accident. He flipped over and ended up paralyzed.
On the job?
On the job. Yes. So it was pretty much, identical stuff like being paralyzed. So that's why I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. Pretty much.
And what do you feel like is your daily motivation? What motivates you? What keeps you going?
Honestly, my wife's a big part of it that keeps me going.
Good answer.
Because if not, she gonna leave you. She gonna leave you here.
Roll your ass.
And right? And my parents are a big motivation for me. They accomplished a lot in life, coming from Mexico and being immigrants. So that kind of just motivates me to keep going. You know what I mean? I'm blessed. I'm still here for a reason. God left me here for a reason, and if I could make one person's life change, then you know what I mean. That's what I'm here for.
And how did this affect your family, bro? I can imagine 16 years old, your mom and dad coming from Mexico and hearing this accident, and us being parents, man. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine hearing that my son got into a really bad accident and is paralyzed. Oh my God, emotionally that would devastate me. So how did your parents handle your situation?
Oh, most definitely, man. They took it hard. You know what I mean? It was hard for them to deal with it, and it was on you, to all of us. And but they're Christian, so they just they said whatever, God decided this, and this is what it is. And even to this day, though, they tell me, like, they worry about me because of my situation, since the day that they're gone and stuff. So I think as a parent, you're going to worry about your kids regardless, So it affected them, but I've shown them that, I'm very independent and I could do a lot for myself.
So walk us through a day-to-day in your life. So you get up in the morning, and how do you start your day and how do you end your day?
I wake up in the morning. I have a routine that I handle. Since I am paralyzed, I do have to do handle a bowel movement before I get my day started at all, which it takes me 2 hours. I shower, I get out, get dressed, and first thing I do is I go to the gym after that. It's something that helps me relieve stress. I go to the gym, and now that my wife works from home, so just pretty much home and gym, to be honest. That's what my day is, and get shower and go to bed and start my day all over again.
And how much time do you spend at the gym?
About 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. And what is it that you work on when you're at the gym?
All upper body. I competed in a 2017, 18, I want to say, for wheelchair bodybuilding. So I want to do that next year. So that's kind of my goal that I have right now, that I'm dedicating myself to the gym right now.
Going from your accident to now, what was the hardest part for you? Was it like physically, was it mentally, emotionally, or like spiritually that you had like you were just battling and going through these struggles? Like, what was it that like really, really like was a struggle for you to get past?
I don't know. I think, bro, to be honest, is of not having a family yet, of not having kids yet. That's kind of my biggest struggle, to be honest. I love kids. I have nieces and nephews that, they're like my kids, you know what I mean? So I think that's my biggest part, that I still haven't even been able to get past through it, you know what I mean? Because it's a process, it's expensive. So it's kind of like something you still got to deal with, So honestly, I think that's my biggest part, to be honest, to answer your question.
Okay.
And this gym journey, I kind of want to dive into that real quick, because off camera you talked about someone approached you and it's over about going to the gym and working out. Can you and prepping you for this competition?
Oh yeah, man.
So let's talk about that, because at one point you said you're a pretty big guy. You know, you're 300 pounds. So talk us through that, if you don't mind.
Pretty much. When I started with my coach was Mr. Rivas. He's out in the Visalia area. I was at about 240 pounds, bro. He reached out to me on social media, on Instagram, and he's like, man, like, you should compete, you know? He's like, I'll train you. He's like, that's how he gives back to the community, because he is paralyzed himself. He's a coach, and he is paralyzed himself, so he gives back to the Woodcher community that way back of training you for free. So he gave me a meal prep, and I committed to him, and I told him, yeah, I'll do it. And I kind of started going to the gym on a daily basis, and I committed to him, and I started eating well on a meal prep. And I started seeing a difference in my body change, and I started dropping weight, and kind of got addicted to that. It motivated me to keep going, and I competed for him. He was my coach, and out in Fresno.
And how did you do in that competition?
I took first place.
Nice.
I got a trophy.
All right. So how many people did you have to compete with?
Honestly, that was only like 4 people there. It wasn't a big show.
And how did you feel going on stage and showing off that sexy body and all that stuff?
It felt good. I ain't gonna lie. It was a big accomplishment, bro. To be paralyzed from pretty much the chest down, it was all pretty much hard work and dedication. So it showed on stage.
Beautiful. And then now you're saying that next year you want to continue doing it again.
Correct. I want to compete. I fell into depression about 4 or 5 years ago. My nephew ended up getting ran over, ended up in a coma. So I kind of went downhill that way, and I stopped going to the gym. And the beginning of this year, I kind of said I want to step out of it, you know. Yeah. I want to get back to it. I'm here for a purpose, and I want to make a difference.
And definitely, like, doing that for him, because I'm pretty sure, your nephew, the last thing he'd want is for you to stop living.
No, most definitely, man. And he has a big heart. I remember he tried to start like a foundation for me, like, on his own, and when he was fresh, he started a page on a Facebook and tried to raise some money for me, for a stem cell treatment, for me to be able to walk again, And he's a sweet boy, man. So for him, and I want to aware people of he's got a TBI, so it's a traumatic brain injury. So I want to make aware people, like, take care, of your head and make sure, big brain injuries is a big difference.
And if you don't mind, us asking, like how did he get ran over? Like, how did all that stuff happen? What was he doing? Did they ever catch the driver? Or
he was walking home from school, and they caught the driver, but they didn't do anything, man.
Really?
Yeah. He was walking home from school, and he crossed the street, and pretty much they hit him. And
did he stop, or he took off?
No, she stayed there, but she didn't have a license, but they didn't do anything. Yeah.
Wow. And then how long has he been in his coma now? And what's his name, if you don't mind?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, his name's Jesse Romero.
Well, Jesse, man, we really hope, man, and whatever God has planned for him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. No, that's like we can't even. That's tough, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's speechless, definitely.
Yeah. And he's the one that I push for every day, man, because he's still here.
Yeah.
He's still here. He's here for a reason. I'm here for a reason, and it's kind of like there's people out there in the world that are 10 times worse than us, and they don't complain. So why should we?
You're right. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. My prayers are gonna go out to your nephew. I'll keep him in my prayers. He has that strong last name. I'm a Romero as well. I definitely am. But I'll definitely keep him in my prayers. I really pray that he pulls through. Because as you and him, there's a lot to offer in this world. You know what I mean? And everything that, I mean, it just seems like you're just constantly going through things. How do you stay positive in all this? How do you stay like just focused and on that positive mindset?
Don't get me wrong, man. I'm human. I have my ups and down days, But I ain't gonna lie. My wife does, man. I wake
She
up.
lies?
No. No. Does she know? I'm about to find out. Nah. I have a great support system with her. You know what I mean? Every time I wake up, I'm grateful to have her by my side, and to be honest, she keeps me going, man. And like I said, my parents are a big motivation for me. They keep me going. If I was depressed, man, I'm just even, get them depressed. I don't want them to see me, you know what I mean, depressed. So, I just kind of keep it going, keep pushing, man. We're still here for a reason. And as long as God wants me here, I'm still going to keep, pushing and be happy. Be grateful for what I have.
You know, for me, like what I see and what I take away from all of this is simply like you said, you're human, and we're all human. We all have our ups and our downs, and I think weakness is a vulnerability, and it's a beautiful thing. And when in your weakness, it can also make you so strong. And I think it's showing people like, we think like the littlest things are like, oh, so detrimental, but it's like we don't know what it is to have no mobility in ourselves. We don't know that. We're so functionable, but we're so focused on the stupidest things out there in the world, because that's what the world wants us to see. And I think like the world needs to see more of this, where it's like the shit that you complain about, it's not even worth complaining about. Like you said, somebody out there has it worse than you.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that somebody has something out there worse than us, but it's like, your worst is not my worst is not your worst.
Correct.
And it's not a competition of whose life is worse than
most
whose.
definitely.
It's all about being human and being kind and considerate at the end of the day towards one another, showing compassion,
Correct.
showing love. And like you said, your parents are Christian, and I feel like this has like, it brought us together in a way where it's like we can all like, I truly feel like because of your parents being Christian, that faith is instilled in you, that hope is instilled in you, which is why you haven't given up. It's because you got to see your parents be so hopeful, and it's all about like how we see our parents. Like if our parents are like, oh, that's it, it's over, like that's it, you're doomed, you're just like, fuck, like yeah, you're right.
I can see that. No, but yeah.
I'm gonna say.
No, and I agree. Like I do agree on that, Mo. And like right now, what's sticking in my head is like consistency. You know what I mean? I'm always like, oh man, I'm always like struggle on being consistent. Wake up in the morning and be consistent. Make sure you're doing everything that you need to do. And it's like I have a choice, but you waking up in the morning, you have to be consistent on the way you get your day started. Like getting 2 hours, and like you're almost forced to be consistent. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just. Man,
and that's another thing. It takes him 2 hours to get his day started. We take seconds for granted. And
MJ, it takes a while because he likes to put on a face mask and he likes to do all kinds of other things. Right?
Look at that, man.
That
don't feed into his ego, please.
He's feeding me.
But I think even that, where it's like, we take, and that's where I listen to my worship music in the morning. Like, this is where I give it to God. This is where I start my morning. I give it to God, and God starts my day. I don't start my day. God starts my day. And it's 2 hours, and we just take the simplest things for granted. And I think, like, with Thanksgiving and gratitude, I just feel like we need to humble ourselves so much more as human beings towards one another. That's truly what I feel in my heart. Like, if we were to just be a lot more humble, the world would be a greater place. but we're just so fixated on like, oh, well, what I went through, the world is not fucking about you. The world does not revolve around you. It does not revolve around me. It revolves around everybody as a human culture, where it's like, I don't know what you went through. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know. Even though my brother and I, we were raised in the same household, it's different for all of us. He carries something different than what I carry. And I think if we were just to humble ourselves so much more, life and the world would be such just a greater place for everybody to just live and just love on one another, be compassionate, considerate. And I'm just so compassionate about like just like loving on people. I didn't know him. And it's like, he had a wife, I have a man, you know, but it's not about that. Like, I'm not trying to get at him. He's not trying to get at me. But at the end of the day, when people see that it's like, you just have a good heart, and that's what his wife sees in him. He has a great heart. I have a great heart. There's no reason, there's no need to be like angry, jealousy, animosity. Like, we're trying to come together as human beings and uplift one another. And that's what life and the world should be about.
Yes, definitely. As well as this podcast, because this is pretty much what we created it for, to allow people to share their testimonies and what they're going through and how they're feeling, because these are everyday issues somebody is going through. You know, I've never experienced being in a wheelchair. You know, my father is in a wheelchair. You know, I met you.
Your Faja?
My Faja, you know. He rose up on me too, you know, but he's in a wheelchair, and it's just seeing the process that people in a wheelchair have to go through, or anybody, yes, you're absolutely right. Anybody with a disability, to see the process, it's like, you know, I'm grateful for having all my senses, you know, like, and this is just
mine is common sense.
Hey, you know what? It's not so common. But no, I'm grateful, you know, that you're brought into our lives, you know, to be able to be on this podcast, because this is another humbling experience for me, and they just keep coming, and it just like, it's making me a better person. And I thank you for coming on here and, you know, making me a better person and sharing your story.
No, I appreciate you guys for having me here, and thank you guys, you know.
And my sister hit it the nail on the head when she said consistency, but we need to be consistent when it comes to being humble towards each other. Because I can't imagine me taking 2 hours just to go out the door. And the one thing we do take for granted is our health.
Most definitely.
You know, is our health.
Yes.
And that's one, and that's why it's so important to hear your story, to hear people who maybe have a little bit worse. So it puts things in perspective.
Yeah, no, most
Because
definitely.
we are fucking ungrateful. You know, we are. We're
no,
ungrateful.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still ungrateful. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, and as at times I get angry, and like I said, I'm human. You know.
And what do you get angry at though? When you talk about I get angry, do you just get angry just because of your situation?
Yeah, because of my situations, I get real bad spasms. So at night, I don't get a full 8 hours of sleep. Say I sleep for like 4 hours, 5 hours max straight at the most, you know, and my legs will start going crazy and they'll spasm out, and they get really tight. They stretch out. They hurt my back. So it's and then I have to wake up to catheterize, which, you know, I cat in a bag, so I pee in a bag. So I have to make sure I'm on that.
How about poo-poo? You go poo-poo in the bag too?
No. I have that's my daily routine. That takes me 2 hours. You know, yeah. It takes me 2 hours. So in there, that's not in the bag. I wipe my own ass. I'm a grown ass man. You know. So yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I think that's, you know, I get mad at my damn legs that, you know, they get tight, and if my morning routine don't go right, then I'm pissed off.
Yeah, you're a little cranky.
Yeah, I'm a little cranky. You know what I mean? I'm an asshole, you know?
That's when your wife locks you in the room.
Pretty much, she was like,
takes away your chair. Like, you locked in the room. Like,
you know, she hadn't done that yet. That's the day. That's the day that I will divorce her. She knows that. The day she takes my chair is the day we are done.
All right. So, like, what techniques do you find useful, you know, in your daily life?
Techniques in what way?
Just in general, like any technique, as far as maybe there's, you know, when you have those spasms or whatever, and you're fighting through the pain, like what do you tell yourself to, like, all right, I need to get up, I need to go to the gym.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I when I have those moments, I'm like, I need to get my ass to the gym. Like, hey babe, I'll see you later, and I'm on my way to the gym. That the gym actually helps my legs. It loosens them up, or so that pretty much you summed it up.
So I remember, if we backtrack, you said you got your license and you're like, what do I need this for now? So for the audience, do you drive? Are you
Yes,
able to drive?
I'm
Okay.
fully independent. I drive. My car is fully equipped with hand controls.
Okay.
So yes, I drive. I still off-road.
Okay.
I off-road. I have a Can-Am, and I have that equipped with hand controls as well. So yeah, fully independent.
And what do you feel that you would say, like, what goals and aspirations are you seeking, like, for yourself in the long haul?
Obviously a family. I want to have kids. That's one of my goals. Hopefully, if God willingly lets me.
I got 3, bro. You can have one.
Shoot him over. So yeah, that's one of them. And like I said, we probably reach out to people. Make people's life. Reach out and make a difference. You know what I mean? Show them that life's precious.
Do you have a story where you've actually been able to reach out to somebody, or you connected with somebody and you were able to make a difference?
Yeah, I have a friend. His name's Brian. Actually, he reached out to me. He had gotten in a motorcycle accident and street bike. And he ended up paralyzed. He reached out to me months after his accident, and he was one of those guys that was like, "I'm gonna walk again," and I told him flat out, like, "You're not gonna walk again. This is your life. You're paralyzed. Fucking accept it."
So he was in denial.
Yeah, he was in denial for a bit, and to this day, he tells me, "Thank you for telling me like that and being straight, blunt, and honest with me that." This was it, He's like, because that hit him, and told him, like, pretty much like, this is your life, like, accept it, like, and he has a great life now, you know what I mean? He has a great life, and he's doing great for himself, and yeah, I have impacted a person, so that's my goal too. If I could do a few more people and show them that life ain't over.
Yeah.
All right, so off the camera, you were talking about maybe starting your own podcast. Is that gonna be in the works right there? And are we gonna be invited?
Probably not you.
My wife is pushing me towards that. I'm a little nervous. I do want to get it going, but most definitely, you guys would be my first guest on there if I get that going.
And if and when you do start your own podcast, what is it that you're trying to? What type of audience do you want? What is it that you'll be talking about? Because this platform's kind of like everywhere and anywhere, but what is it that you would want to target? Who would you want to target?
I would want to make a difference in my situation, so I would want to interview other people in wheelchairs in the same situation as I am. Obviously, obviously, they're different injuries. They happen different. Some have gone shot. Some have been in car accidents. Have some, like myself, in motorcycle accidents. So I would just want to expand that, so like that it reaches people in our situation, for them to see that life is, is precious, and that, maybe these people went through the same situation, and it opens their eyes that whatever injury they have gone through, it's still, there's still a life out there.
Yeah. And what type of life, like, what would you say your life is like right now? Like, how would you describe your life?
It's wonderful. I mean, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I have a wonderful family that supports me, a wonderful wife. I mean, I'm grateful.
I think like being in a relationship, because Ramon and I, we were talking earlier about relationships, and he's like, do you find it easier now to date? And I'm like, no. So I just want to just congratulate you and your wife for making, because you guys have been married how long?
15 years.
15 years.
15 years.
And you were already paralyzed, right? Because you guys were dating before, kind of started
Correct.
dating again. So dating again, as you're paralyzed,
Correct.
right? So she knew your whole situation.
Yeah,
from
I broke it
start-
down to her.
from start to end,
Yes.
and she's still
Here.
here.
Yes, she is.
Like, girl, you deserve a round of applause because there's not that many women out here like you. And I think, like, for the right man, but I think so many women say that, but they don't do it. Like, I feel like you're a solid one.
And
you're solid.
And the reason why I don't do it is because the image of what it looks like. In reality, oh, my husband's in a wheelchair. And right there, it's the image.
So I think you deserve so much credit for being that wife that is not just that ride or die. You're also, like what they say in the Bible, your heart is pure. You know, they talk about a pure heart in the Bible all the time, and it's like, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, but definitely,
But they
yeah, for
don't,
you, yeah.
Like, it's so hard to understand what a pure heart is, and your heart is pure. And I just feel like you deserve so much credit because there's so much that even in my marriage, I was not able to tolerate. So however it is that you were raised, whatever it is that you went through, like, you're solid. And God is going to give you guys all the glory. Whatever you guys want and ask for in your guys' marriage, God is going to bless you guys because you guys are solid.
Yeah. To all the men and women
Yeah,
out there, to all the men and women
Here
out
we
there,
go.
you know?
Here we go. The fireworks.
That part.
But yeah, man, it's it is amazing, man, because it seems like, especially with your wife, when the going gets tough, that's when you find out.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
when you find out who's that solid. Because there are not many people. The moment there's something that happens, especially in your situation, her situation, they just dip.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
too much. It's too much for them.
It's usually when
and
you
it's funny because it's too much for them.
Yeah,
You know, it's like-
it's usually when people are put in extreme situations, like radical situations, to where you really get to know who they really are.
And
You
it-
really get to know their characteristics. Are they going to stick around? Are they that ride or die? You know what I mean?
Did you ever feel at any point where you worried, like, damn, I don't know if my wife's, like, she's going to leave me? Did you ever feel that type of way in the past or even now?
Honestly, no, man. Honestly, at points, maybe because of my fuck ups. I ain't gonna lie, you know. But other than that, no, not because of my situation. Not for that reason. No.
Okay. And just give people a backstory. So how did you and your wife meet?
She's my brother's wife's sister.
All right. All right.
So pretty much.
And that's how you guys met.
That's how we met.
And you guys met, and you guys were what? High school?
About 12 years old.
Okay. So they've
Yeah.
been married. Are they still married?
Yeah, they're still married.
Oh, okay,
They're still
okay.
married. Yeah, that's my brother that my nephew's in a coma.
Okay.
That's his dad. Yeah, my nephew and that's when we met.
And I mean, if you don't mind, because I do want to ask you just a quick question. So I don't know if you're cool with just jumping on real quick. Well, I don't know if one of you guys want to just jump off real quick. Because I just want to ask you a quick question. Just a quick question. And this is for the audience. So
This is a wife.
this is the
This is
wife,
the wife
everybody.
behind the
She was a
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
My name is Crystal. Yeah, I mean, pretty much we met at around 11, 12 years old. I was living in Vegas. He was living in Cali. Since the day we met, there was a spark. We were just, mess with each other anytime that I went to visit. And then around 13 is when he gave me my first kiss, and it was downhill from there. I was already infatuated with him, and yeah, he was a bad boy though. Of course, that's what we all
Say that you don't want, but
we don't want, but we
we
tend
attracted to it.
exactly.
Right. So we got his story. How was it like for you hearing what happened to him?
So we were both dating different people at the time that he got in his accident. And for me, I always, still had love for him, but, he wanted his own thing, and so that's what kind of led us to not speak anymore. And the night before his accident, I actually called him. I knew he was in Mexicali. I knew his signal probably wouldn't have gone through, but I still did because I wanted to just, I don't know, something in me told me just to reach out. And so I did. Of course, he didn't answer. The next morning, I called my sister around like close to 11. And she just answers like, oh, you know, she heard me sad. And I was, because I had a friend that was moving away. She's like, oh, did you hear already? And I was like, hear what? And she's like, oh, hold on. She put me on hold forever. Felt like it was an eternity. She came back on. She was like, oh, it's because Misael got in an accident. And I was just like, what? My heart dropped. I started crying right away. As soon as I hung up the phone with my sister, I called the boyfriend that I had, and I broke up with him.
No shit. Really?
I said, you know what? I can't be with you knowing that my heart is with him. And I'm going to do whatever I can to try to go see him. And so, yeah, I begged my mom. She didn't want to take me. But finally she...
Why did she want to take you?
She just didn't want... They knew what kind of bad boy he was. He was a player, you know, growing up. So they didn't want that for me, you know. You know, typical mom. And on our way to go see him is when she was, you know, I was crying. She was like, why do you love him so much? Like, why? And it kind of came out that, you know, he was my first at that time on our way to see him.
Yeah.
So we went to Fontana first to go. That's where my sister lived with his brother. And then we took up the drive to San Diego. That's where he was at. So when I went to go see him, he says he doesn't remember really that visit. But all I remember is him trying to cover his neck brace. You know, he didn't want me to see him like that. But yeah, and then I was texting his brother every day that he was in the hospital, asking how he was, until he finally was able to get his phone back, and he replied to me. And yeah, from there, I was just...
That was it,
That's when it started again, and we've been going strong ever since, and it just... I think more I was worried about how he was going to take it, because he was such an outside guy that he would just up and go. He would just up and go every time, and he liked being outside. And so we all thought he was going to take it bad and go into depression. And he proved us all wrong. And he was the most independent, trying to do everything that he could just to be able to get up and go.
And what kept you? You know, knowing his disability, because, you know, I feel like it's a choice. It's something that you choose to love that person. You're not forced on it. And what kept you?
I don't feel like it's really a choice. Just because of the fact that he won my heart, and no matter how many times I tried to tell myself, you know what, no, he's no good for me, I just always kept getting pulled to him, you know. And I have such a love for him that I see him and I'm motivated by him. That I see, like, how can you do so much? And I'm like, you know, I see it so hard, and you just get up and go, and you put on a brave face every day, and you, no matter with what you go through every single day, I see it. And he can still go out and show everybody that, hey, nothing phases him.
That's beautiful, man.
I mean, damn, that's amazing, and definitely a unicorn, you know. You are a unicorn, and to all the other men and women out there that have a partner that, you know, are dealing with disabilities, and it's not easy, you know. It's definitely not easy. I see what my mom goes through with my dad, and lifting him up and taking care of him and really being there 100%. It is not easy, and I can contest to that. So I applaud you. I applaud you, and you're amazing, you know, and I can see the smile that he puts on your face, you know. So again, I applaud you. That's amazing. Now, how do you feel, Wills, about, you know, finding a unicorn, bro?
Oh man, I'm blessed. I've had a lot of friends, like I said, in my situation that I know, and that had got cheated on, man. That, you know, left and after this situation, and it's awful, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine.
I feel like people even that are not in our situation that go through divorces, I mean, they feel it, you know, they go through the depression, and they go through their, you know, their things. So I imagine us, you know what I mean, we go through, you know, feeling that if we get left or anything, feel that we're less, you know what I mean, of a person.
So like his friend Brian that he was talking about, like we actually became really good friends. The day we met him, we met his wife as well. And so we all four became really close. And I kind of seen ourselves in them because they kind of were the same kind of story. They grew up, you know, since they were young together. And they were together after his accident, everything. And they got divorced though. And so that kind of like really hit me like, damn, you know? I was like, why couldn't they make it, you know? But I think it comes to the same thing, you know? You kind of hit a point where it's like you have to choose yourself or somebody else, you know? And I think that's just kind of where it got to for them. But I don't know, I feel like I could never do that.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I always feel for him. And I just always feel like, you know, everything that he goes through, how can I be selfish and be like, no, I'm just going to leave you with everything you go through and I'm going to go live my life. Like, no, we can live it together, you know, and still continue, you know?
Right.
Well, ladies, take a page.
All right.
Take a chapter out of her page.
Hold on. This is a screenshot.
But no, honestly, thank you. I know you're like a little
All
camera
right.
shy.
I know, bro. I got one more question. MJ, was there ever a point, if you can remember a time, or if there was a point when you were going through this transition to where you were upset, to where you kind of like started pushing people away, that you didn't want their sympathy, you didn't want any of this, like you didn't want them to feel sorry for you, so you started like kind of like, nah, like it's your life would be better off without me, just go ahead and go?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Yeah, I did that, you know what I mean, because I just felt like it would be better, you know, like her life would be better sometimes without me, you know. Like I felt like there's certain things, like take a walk on the beach. I can't do that, which is romantic, you know. Who doesn't want to do that with their spouse? Obviously, I've never done it. She was like, you know. So certain things like that was just like,
Me and Ramon do it all the time.
I can't do that for you, you know. So maybe you should, you know, get somebody that's walking. But no, I try to push her away a lot, man, and she's still here. She didn't go nowhere, you know.
I just feel like I see so much potential in him that he doesn't see himself, you know. And I'm like, open your eyes, like you can do so much. And I wish that he sees it and he can push more to do everything that I see that he could do.
Definitely, because I see it as well. I mean, you already motivated me, man. You know what I mean? Like you really did. And like, man, your stories, the more I hear all these stories, you know, I'm always having a different aspect on life and outlook, and really like embracing what people are going through, because it has changed me as a person, as a man, you know, like once being an alcoholic and being a completely angry drunk and, you know, disrespecting people and wanting to fight, you know, I hear these stories and it's changing my life for the better, you know, and your story definitely is going to change my life. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Come back. Thank you so much.
Round of applause.
Thank you. All right. Well, you want to do some like last follow-up questions? Any more?
I got one more question.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, you got such a great sense of humor. The mindset is amazing. The energy is amazing. I want to know, has there ever been any thought about like souping up the chair? You know, maybe throwing some spinners or getting some, you know, off-road tires, you know?
Oh man, I already have some blings. I have some blings. I have some billets at home that I gotta resend to get repolished.
Okay.
But yeah, most definitely, man. I want to beef it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do like driving fast cars. I do have a car that's pretty fast. You know, that I like racing my car. I like the off-roading. You know,
Yeah.
I like the adrenaline stuff, Barrel. So.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I want to apologize for not offering my armrest, because see, your wheelchair doesn't have the armrest, so if you want, I can get closer, bro. You have the armrest. You know what I mean? Like,
Appreciate that if you would offer me about an
yeah,
hour.
right?
He's happily married, okay? We've been talking about that. He's happily married.
I'm just trying to hook up my brother, bro.
All of a sudden. I'm going to ask, what is the most misconception that people have about paralysis that you can maybe give, where it's like, obviously we know you're more than capable and able, but what do you feel is the misconception that a lot of people have that you're like, yeah, his was your pee didn't work.
I'm gonna be honest.
We know it does.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's one of the biggest ones that they think that they can have sex or drive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or oh yeah, like they feel like they see my legs spasming, and they'll be like, they'll touch it and they'll be like, you can move it, huh? And I'm like, oh, it hurts, and it's bullshit. I don't feel it, but yeah, I think the biggest is the having sex part. It's like they really think that we can't, like that's the first thing that they come up with. But no, yes, we're female or male, fully capable. Whether we're male or female, we're paralyzed or fully capable of having sex.
Okay. So my brother's gonna be going up to
all the wheelchair girls.
Gonna be like, roll up, girl, roll up.
And one of the questions I got, actually two. Number one would be like, how did this affect you, like insurance wise? Is it very expensive to be going out and do you have to constantly go to the doctor and all that stuff? Like how does that?
Thank God I have Medi-Cal. For a while I didn't have Medi-Cal, which I was buying my own supplies, which the catheters that I used to pee, I was buying them for $2 a catheter. I used about $200 to $250 a month, so that's $500. But if originally from the store they're like $12, $15 a pop, so for one. So they do get expensive. Medical supplies are expensive. The wheelchairs are like $7,000. So yes, they're expensive, and it's a process to get equipment.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna say. So how does that work? Like, if you don't mind me asking, like how are you able to support yourself and so forth?
Well, like I said, I have Medi-Cal, so thank God I get everything for free. Thank God. So all my wheelchair equipment, my medical equipment, my visits to the doctor, that's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, let's just say for whatever reason something happens to your wheelchair, what do they replace it? Is there a process?
It takes a process for them to approve it to get fixed. I do have other wheelchairs that I have bought in out of my own money, cash. So yeah, so I do have a backup just in case it ever breaks. I do have another one to use really quick. So yeah, it sucks that what we go through, but it is what it is.
So again, people, he said right now he pays $2.
Right now, thank God, I get them for free. But I used to pay $2 a catheter from a friend.
But if you were to go through something else, it was $12.
Yes, through the actual company.
So imagine $12 just to want to urinate. Okay.
Times 200 in 1 month.
Yes.
The little things again that we take for granted.
That part.
And these are things that it's like, I really feel like we take for granted. Like, there's times that I get up and I'm thankful for my car. It's not my dream car. It's not the car that I wanted. But you know what? It gets me from point A to point B. Being able to flush the toilet alone should be a blessing, because not many people get to flush the toilet. Being able to take a warm shower, like all these things that we take for granted in life, like, it's just mind-blowing.
No, for real. I definitely wouldn't want to drink that much water paying $12 for a catheter and just having to go to the restroom that many times. Oh, drink more water. It's good for you. Not for my pocket. Definitely not for my pocket.
Right?
You ain't lying, brother. You ain't lying.
And why was it so important for you to come out and share your story, bro? Like, why are you so active with sharing your story?
Definitely, like I said, man, if I could reach one person and change the way of them seeing life, or opening their mind to, to something different out there, then that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I used to visit patients out in rehabilitation centers that freshly injured, wheelchair patients. So I would go talk to them. So just to make a difference, bro. Like I said, one person changed my life. And I would want to change other people's lives if I'm able to.
So for me, as like we kind of like end all of this, my takeaway from this is you never know what somebody else is going through. And if you're able to just have a simple conversation with somebody, don't think twice, just do it. If God places it in your heart to just strike a conversation or have a conversation with somebody, just do it. Because you never know whose life you can impact. All it took was him to comment. I saw it. I said something. We're here. Okay, we don't know how God works, but God works in mysterious ways all the time. He's constantly working 24 hours a day.
Most definitely.
And we don't know what little thing that we can say or do to somebody that can change their life. So if you take anything away from this, is the minute God places something in your heart, just do it. Just do it. Don't second guess. Don't question yourself. Don't say tomorrow, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. If God placed it in your heart today, do it. Act on it. Because we never know whose life we can change and impact in the blink of an eye. He was riding down the street just to go and get his equipment. Unfortunately, he didn't make it to get his helmet. And this is why he's in the situation that he is. And again, he felt twice that he shouldn't have been going, and his mom told him not to. And this is where again,
right now.
Yeah, she is, man. She's being pretty deep. Oh, damn.
this
Opening
is
old wounds, you know?
She told you.
I get it.
God.
I get it, Mom. I'm sorry.
But this is where God gives us discernment. And when God gives us discernment, it's because he places it in our heart. And sometimes we're rejecting him. We're rejecting him. We're rejecting him. Every time we reject him, he's showing us something. And I'm a firm believer of God's work. And I know that every time I rejected God, it was a lesson. And sometimes it's the hardest lesson you can learn. And then it places us in these situations to be able to have these conversations with one another. And we're hard-headed, we're stubborn, we're just like, nah, not me, you know. I was 16 and pregnant, so I'm like, nope, not me, God. I ain't ever gonna get pregnant. Now I have
protection.
and now I have a 24-year-old.
Protect the noggin. Protect the noggin.
At least his head was protected, mine wasn't. But, you know, that's just what I can say is my takeaway from all this is the discernment, whatever is placed in your heart, act on it. Don't brush it to the side. Don't think that tomorrow's another day, because we are not guaranteed tomorrow.
Tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah, and man, let's close this up. You have any?
Go for it.
I was gonna give him the floor and just say if there's anything else that you just want to share to the audience, share to anybody out there listening.
Well, before you do, I will say what I just want to say again, and I'm gonna say it. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm not gonna stand up and give you a hug, so I'm gonna dab you up right here. I don't look weird, you know what I mean? But I appreciate you. I'm definitely gonna take this and apply it to my everyday life, and I'm gonna hit the gym, bro. And if I ever complain about leg day, you can
take a picture of him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna have it as a screensaver. So again, thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate it. I appreciate you and your wife. You guys are amazing people, and I'm glad that you guys came on the podcast, and you guys are now friends for life. And if you guys ever need anything or we can do anything, by all means, reach out to me and MJ, and we got you guys 100%.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you, guys. Appreciate, for having me here and for letting me, share my testimony. First of all, like I said, if I could reach one person and make their life a little different or show them that life ain't over, man. Life is beautiful, and you're beautiful. You are too. Likewise. Likewise. Hey, you know what? What's going on with you today? But
You want the wine?
yeah, I told you it works.
All right.
But like I said, that's all you needed to know. But like I said, if I could change one person, state of mind or show them that life ain't over, man. So pretty much.
Yeah, big dog. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And is there anything else we want to say?
That's about it.
That's about it. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap
it up. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in. You know, there's more to come. Definitely a lot more to come.
You know, check us.
And we will let you know once he decides to start rolling on those wheels to start his own podcast, because he has a lot to share. He has a lot to give back to the community, and maybe this will help and encourage him. So everybody, like, support him and just encourage him, motivate him. He got this, and we all have a story to share, and let's just, you know, support one another.
Yeah, and if they could get a hold of you, reach out to you, what are some of the platforms they could get a hold of you at, and what's your I was gonna say call sign. What's your IG sign? You know,
sign or what?
It's Wheels, bro.
Wheelchair sign.
A wheelchair, like, it's Wheels.
Through IG or TikTok, it's Wheels 909. So pretty easy to find.
So yeah, any of you guys that want to reach out to Wills, have any questions or anything like that, feel free to hit him up on his IG. Please leave a like, leave a comment. I know whatever, this platform is not only for us, but it's for you guys. And we thank you so much, man, for coming on and sharing your testimony.
Yes.
And you're going to catch us every Friday at 8 a.m. Right on the Way podcast. We love you guys.
We
We'll
appreciate
see you on the
you.
next one.
Catch you on the flip side.
Peace.